أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. I give glory and adoration to Almighty Allah. I thank Him for all that He has done for us. I thank Him for the gift of life. I thank Him for the gift of Islam. I thank Him for everything. We appreciate Him. We exalt Him. I declare that no one is worthy of my worship and my service other than the Creator of the heavens and earth. I declare my love, my respect for the Prophet of Peace, Muhammad bin Abdullah. I declare that I love him with all my heart, but I also declare that he does not deserve my worship because he is not God and he can never be God. There is no one, no being in the heavens and on earth that deserves my worship other than the Creator of the heavens and earth. I give adoration to him and I appreciate him. So we are still talking about Muhammad bin Abdullah, the Prophet of Peace. The last video we looked at his life in Mecca, but we are not done with Muhammad's life in Mecca. We spoke about what Muhammad Rasulullah went through while he was in Mecca, how he was persecuted, but the persecution did not end. I told you about the isolation in Mecca for 3 years. Muhammad and everybody that believed in him were all isolated. They were put on quarantine from the 7th year of his call to the 10th year. It was unbearable. Think of the hunger. The hunger was so much that Muhammad Rasulullah could not walk at some point because there was nothing in his stomach to support him. And yet he persevered. Yet he tolerated everybody who was persecuting him. Mind you, he had with him people who had fought all their life, people who know nothing but fighting and war. But he didn't allow them to fight back. He did not allow them to terrorize anybody. He encouraged them to persevere. He encouraged them to tolerate their harassers and those who were persecuting them. In that is a good lesson for those of us who are living in the 21st century, to start to behave like Muhammad Rasulullah and to start to act like him, to tolerate those who are persecuting us and always seek for peace anywhere around the world. So at the end of the isolation, the 10th year of the isolation, which I told you ended with a miracle, and the miracle was that, at the point when the isolation was declared in the city of Mecca, a document was actually prepared by the powers that be in Mecca, and the document was hung inside the Kaaba itself, and that meant that everybody must respect that document. So everybody respected the document. But the document was beginning with Bismika Allahumma, with the name of Allah. So Muhammad Rasulullah called his uncle Abu Talib, who was not a Muslim, but yet he protected Muhammad Rasulullah, called him and told him that Allah had instructed ants to eat up the document. Every name of Allah in the document was eaten up, which show that the Creator was not, he didn't approve of what it was that they did to Muhammad Rasulullah and those who believed in him. And when the power that be in Mecca heard that, when they heard that, they didn't believe it. And the agreement they had with Abu Talib was that if it turned out to be the truth, then they would put an end to the isolation. So they went inside the Kaaba. Nobody had access to the Kaaba except the powers that be. They had the key with them, the keys with them. So when they opened the Kaaba, and alas, they saw the document as Muhammad Rasulullah had described it. And they had no choice because they had promised but to put an end to the isolation. So the isolation was ended at the 10th year of Muhammad's call. But in this very year, Abu Talib died, and that was Muhammad's uncle who was protecting him. And also his very rich wife, Khadija, also died in this very year. The year was known as the year of sadness, Amul Huzni, for Muhammad Rasulullah, because he lost two people who were very dear to him and who were also protecting him. So this very 10th year, when Abu Talib died and Khadija died, Muhammad decided to take his campaign of the worship of the one and only creator of the heavens and earth, and also his call to righteousness. He took this campaign to Taif. Taif was another city in the Arabian Peninsula. Aside from the Makkah, there were so many cities there. Muhammad Rasulullah went to Taif, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He spent 10 days in Taif, calling the people of Taif, the people of Taif, to the worship of the one and only creator of the heavens and earth, asking them to be righteous to one another, telling them to stop harassing women, telling them to respect the rights of women and the rights of orphans. As a matter of fact, the Arabs then, when they gave birth to a female child, they would bury her alive. That was their culture. Muhammad Rasulullah called them to stop in that. He told them to stop that. He told them that the same right that if a male child had was the same right a female child had. He was telling them all of these good things to do, to worship the one and only creator of the heavens and earth, to be righteous to one another, to respect the rights of women, the rights of orphans, and the rights of the female child. These were the things he was calling them to. He did not fight anybody. Do you know what happened to Muhammad Rasulullah in Taif? The powers that be in Taif gathered young boys and asked them to stone Muhammad Rasulullah. What was his offense? What did he do wrong? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His offense was that he called men like him to righteousness. He told them to do things right. He asked them to stop every unrighteous act they were partaking in. Things that even up to this day we are still talking about. The rights of women, right of the girl child, of orphans. That was what he was asking them to do right then. But even at Taif, he was stoned to the extent that he started bleeding. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What did he do when he started bleeding? Did he start to fight? No, he did not. Because that is the picture of Muhammad Rasulullah that has been given to you to believe. But I'm telling you that it is very wrong. That was not whom he was. He was a very peaceful man. Take your time to read about his life, to read about him with a very sincere and pure heart and get to know him better. He was stoned until he started bleeding. And while he was bleeding, did he curse them? No, he did not, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Did he look for a way to fight back? No, he did not. As a matter of fact, Angel Jubril came to him while he was bleeding and asked him to request for whatever it was that he wanted and that he would do it. Angel Jubril asked Muhammad Rasulullah to instruct him to destroy all of them, everybody in Taif, and that he would do it immediately. What did Muhammad Rasulullah tell him? While he was bleeding, what did he tell Jubril? He told Jubril that, no, do not destroy them. If they do not believe, their children, their generation, their grandchildren will believe in the creator of the heavens and earth, and they will worship the creator of the heavens and earth, and they will be righteous. That was Muhammad Rasulullah, a man of peace who delivered a message of peace. He left Taif without allowing Jubril to destroy them. They did not accept his message. He was stoned, and yet he did not curse them, but he prayed for them. He prayed to the Creator while in his own blood. He prayed to the Creator. He prayed to God to help him, to aid him. He did not lose faith in God, and he did not curse those who persecuted him. He prayed for them. And he left Taif without achieving what he went there to do. And he came back to Makkah. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is my objective. For you to meet him, for you to know him from exactly whom he was. A man of peace, who passed the message of peace, who lived a life of peace, who chose a peaceful life to anything else. Sallallahu ala Muhammadin. May the peace and blessings of the Creator of the heavens and earth be on my beloved Muhammad bin Abdullah, the Prophet of peace. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.